Right, transfer this guy. So so my recommendation is to trace this just to make sure that you get, if you make a mistake, you can correct it. If you can do this, if you're confident you can ink this without making a mistake, go right ahead. It'll save you a step. Okay, remember of course to tape your trace down. Always secure your work. Okay, and I threw in some detail grilly kind of thing, but I don't really need that. And then here's my window down here. All right, so if you projected all of this and drew the perspective accurately, you won't need to worry about this step. Here's the depth of my window. And then from here, left vanishing point, that'll give me the thickness of the wall at the ceiling. So I wanted you to do this one. This window at the on the right has a floor to ceiling window, so you can do this. Actually is a fairly simple idea. You might bump this framing out a little bit. And up here as well. Stay flat, would you? Okay. Okay, and you transfer, trace it, ink it. I think I should use this side so that, of course, for inking, if the pen is right, if it's right on the paper, right on the drawing, some of that ink can crawl underneath, and then when you pull it aside, it can smear it. So the cork back raises the ruler just a little bit. So if you try using your scale for this, it won't, you won't have that raised edge. Unless you have a scale that has that. I don't think I've ever seen one. Usually triangles have an inking edge on them. That's where you'll find it. Okay. Watch out if you leave your pen sitting there, the ink can just start to flow out on, once it's in contact with the paper, the ink can kind of flow out. Draw that one, make it heavier. Okay, and a little bit about line weight. Normally, you want to think about line weight in a drawing like this. The larger, like the edges of like sort of like major objects, like the architecture, maybe the this chimney and range hood that are bigger and closer to the viewer, you would ink those with a heavier line weight. So if you're using Micron pens, there it is, dang it. Lost track of where that line ends. Okay. So you can use a bigger there. Now this isn't the finished drawing, this is just making sure I've got a good clear image for my transfer. So this is not really the place where I need to worry about the line weight so much, but okay, there. All right, now I'm going to do the transfer part. Yeah, maybe like this interior edge could be a lighter line weight, and then the outer edge heavier. That way, what it does is it makes them clearer, and it in a drawing like this, it would emphasize their mass a little bit. It's a pretty common tactic in illustration and comic books, where you have like what would be considered the major edges are inked a little more with a heavier line weight. Okay, make sure I am still recording. Good. I've had it happen where I think I hit record, and I did hit record, but my phone didn't understand it, and then I gotta do it again. All right, so the pencil, so if I just take this, so you can see I can see my inking really clearly, and turn it over. Just shade heavily with the pencil. This is just like a regular, number 2 pencil, Novelty Iowa Hawkeyes pencil. If you have softer pencils for drawing classes, like a 2B pencil or a 4B pencil, 6B pencil, all of those would be good, even better than this. Although I like to do this, demonstrate this with an HB pencil, which is the graphite in a number 2 pencil, is HB graphite. See, you can even see that already transferred some of my other drawing. And of course, the reason that you don't just trace it in pencil and flip this over is because then it reverses it, and you can't just reverse an interior. That's probably would be kind of confusing to your client, right? Okay, so now what I would do is take this, once I got that, so see now I can still see my drawing clearly. And I can also see now that I'm doing this, this is off center. I kind of approximated where this corner is. Probably should have been, yeah, this is big. See, like this is longer. This should be longer than this one, so I don't know. Oh well, it's kind of hard to tell. So what I would do, if I see this and I think like, whoa, that looks really wrong, I would probably just say like, well, I'm gonna just like crop it here and make it look right. Yeah. Okay. So now, and again, I wanted you to ink the tracing, because if you don't ink the tracing and you put graphite behind it, it's really hard to see your lines. So the inking might seem like it's just some redundant step, but it's not. It's actually very helpful. So you retrace it, and this pressure will transfer the graphite from the tracing paper to the sheet below. Like that. And look at that. So this is good. This is like getting a very clear tracing. When I'm getting ready to draw, oops, go back in there. There you go. I might, especially if some of these are lighter surfaces, hey, I might lighten this a little bit. Sometimes you get your transfer can be a little too dark. But that's how you do it, right? Trace it on tracing paper, ink it, flip it over, apply the graphite to the back of the drawing, reposition it onto a clean sheet, and then retrace it with a sharp pencil, and the pressure transfers the graphite on the bottom of that piece of tracing paper to the sheet beneath it.